Hello and welcome into this edition of the Sancomb Show. My name is Matt Kuiper, the Sports Information Director here for the Vulcans. And with me after a big road win last night, late night for the guys, head coach Danny Sancomb. Obviously there it always feels better when you get back on the bus on the road with a win. But it makes the time not as tough for everybody there on the road back.
It makes the trip much better when you have a win. It really does. So, the late nights aren't nearly as bad after a win.
So it's been about a week plus since we had you on here for the last show. But looking back 3 games ago was home versus Seton Hill. It's one of those things. I know before the game we did the show. You previewed them with that zone they have, and it was extremely active. And it's one of those things. Like Gannon's style is totally different. Seton Hill's totally different. How do you think the guys played against the Griffins there and getting that home victory?
Yeah, I'm real happy with how we played. They make it hard. They don't beat themselves. You have to beat that team. They get back on defense very well. They're very good in there. 2-3 offensively. They present some problems. They move the ball well. They slip screens. They have guys that can shoot it. So I thought our defense was very good in the game, and I thought we did enough against the zone to get some open looks and some layups to be efficient in there. I thought we started to run away with it a little bit in the second half, and then what they do is they continue. They called a timeout. They stayed with what they do, and they made us fight to the very end to get the win. So I was very happy with the win.
Yeah, it was a game. Vulcans ended up winning 77-64. 2 big runs, big run there in the second half to really get that separated there. But in that game, you had 2 guys with double-doubles, Jermaine and Bryson both having double-doubles. Bryson really attacking the glass, 16 boards there and 14 points, while Jermaine had 18 points and 10 boards.
Yeah, Bryson was great. Not only just the scoring and rebounding, but playing in the high post against the zone. He made good decisions, good passes, as you can see there to Jermaine for the dunk, but just was very active on the glass for us as well and did a great job defensively. And then Jermaine too, when you have 2 guys that have double-doubles, that means they're chasing rebounds, and both of those guys are very good at it. You see Jermaine making good passes to Bryson as well. So they both played complete games, which is very, very good for us. When they rebound the ball like that, we're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, and also not just 2 guys there. Zion Collins ended up with 15, and KJ had 15, and really had 18 assists on 17 field goals, 5 by Zion and 5 by Bryson, and even 4 by Jermaine. So the guys really playing unselfish ball there, obviously hitting the open 3 here in the corner.
Yeah, and I thought too, Zion really made some big shots in that game. Like when there was a little run for him, he was able to have a pull-up jumper or hit a 3 or drive to the basket. We saw the left-hand layup, so made some very key baskets. And KJ's just been KJ, the entire year. Didn't have his best shooting night that game, but was still able to get 15 points and rebound the basketball like he always does. So just a very balanced attack for us, for sure. You see a good pass there. Antoine obviously came off the bench and gave us good minutes as well.
In the game there, Seton Hill, you really held them down. They only shot 25% from three-point land and also only under 33% from the floor. So efficient night for you guys, shooting about 50%, but really holding them under 35% really makes a difference, the dynamics, just how the game is played.
Yeah, and they depend on the 3. They utilize the analytics of the game to get they take a ton of 3s, and that's how they beat you. So you got to be ready to defend the 3, and we did a good job with it.
So that was on Wednesday night, and then Saturday you guys made the trip up to Slippery Rock, a team that's always a physical team in nature, no matter who the coach is, and a bunch of transfers year in and year out basically, but they're always a physical, tough team, and that was a game just like typical would always be with Slippery Rock. A tough physical game, a lot of fouls called in that contest, and probably one of the worst shooting nights you've seen from the Vulcans in a while. And I'm sure it still eats you a little bit there, knowing that shooting percentage from that game. Yeah,
hats off to Slippery Rock. They wanted it more than we did. I thought we got taken out of our game a little bit. At halftime, I remember looking at the box score and seeing 1 assist, and that's not who we are. I thought we took some shots that were really hard. They got good length. So I think a team like that, you've got to be able to move the basketball and get their defense moving, and we did not do a good job with that. They forced us to take contested shots, sometimes with 2 guys on us at a time. We've got to be better moving forward when we play teams like Slippery Rock as far as just moving the basketball. And then defensively, we just thought we played pretty good defense in the half court. We weren't great in our transition defense, and we gave up too many offensive rebounds early in the game where they got easy putbacks. That was the game to me. Just very frustrating game for me. I just felt like we didn't play our brand of basketball.
Yeah, it's one of those things, how our character is entering this game. The Vulcans led the country in field goal percentage, and he ended up shooting just under 27%, which is one of the lowest, basically the lowest in a decade, which also was at Slippery Rock. So it just tells you the program, the style they played, no matter the coach, they were playing a tough physical brand of basketball, and they make it tough to play, especially at their place. With the students back a little bit there and had a little bit more momentum, I'm sure, for that game.
Yeah, just like, like we said, just like we got out of our game. Like you can see us getting some easy baskets here off of our defense. We did not get a lot of baskets like that throughout the game, and that's why you shoot, 25% in a game, because you're taking difficult shots. I don't think with the type of players that we have, are you going to have some off shooting nights? Certainly, like that's a skill, but never that off. We just didn't move the ball and create our, give ourselves opportunity for easy baskets.
And you see an and one here coming. The Vulcans ended up shooting 43 free throws in the game, and Slippery Rock shot 27. So that just shows the physicality and the nature of it. The refs definitely were not letting the guys play too much, but also calling a lot of things going on in that game.
Yeah, I mean they're going to play physical basketball. That's our league. The conference game. So we did a good job getting to the free throw line. But we like the physical game, so that doesn't bother us too much. But like I said, take our hats off to Slippery Rock. They played a very good game, and their desire to win the game was better than ours.
And in that game, one of those notes is always hard to find these kind of things a positive out of the loss, but KJ McClurg breaking the record for single game free throws made. He ended up shooting 19 of 22, so I got the line a lot, but that record's been held since the mid-1980s with Danny Zychak, a guy who's one of the most prolific scorers, two-year guy here, and he comes to a lot of games, so it's one of those things to see a record like that actually get broken is very rare since it stood for so long, but KJ is one of those guys, he's just so efficient when he gets to the line. If he gets there that many times, that record does have a chance to go down.
Yeah, and KJ is just, so much more than a shooter. I think that tells you, when you go to the foul line 22 times, you're creating and beating your man and getting contact. I know KJ wishes that would have been a winning effort for sure. That's just his mentality, but he does a great job all the time getting to the free throw line.
And then that was on Saturday. You guys come back again, go on the road last night to Clarion, a team that's improved this year. Only had one conference win last year, but they've already got 4 this year and 6 overall. So a team that's much improved and a little bit different probably what you've seen in the years past. What was your thought, takeaway from that game?
Yeah, going into the game, just looking at their personnel, they're very balanced this year. They've got like 4 guys that score double figures and a 5th very, very close. So they share the ball well and do some good things on the offensive end. And they're just a big team. They start a big lineup that's pretty physical and athletic. So they make some things difficult on teams on the defensive end. But I thought offensively we were clicking last night. I could tell from the start of the game our guys were locked in offensively. We had talked about moving the basketball. I think we had 24 assists in the game yesterday. And that's who we are. And when we're doing that, we're really hard to guard. You can see, good open 3 right there by Bryson. Zion with an open 3 right there. But we got a lot of stuff out of our offense, driving it to the basket there. Another layup. Bryson got off to a great start for us in the game, running the floor here for another dunk, and he does that as well as anybody in our league. So he was ready to play, and he really set the tone for us offensively to start the game.
And he had 5 guys in double digits, exactly what you guys kind of like. Jermaine having a big night, double-double with 21 and 10, and being efficient 9 of 14 from the floor. Zion and KJ both at 18, Bryson 13, Antoine off the bench with 11. So just balanced overall effort from everybody, and a lot of guys staying out of foul trouble too in that game.
Yeah, first with Jermaine, I didn't believe he had a double-double as well, so he was rebounding it. I think he had 6 assists, 21 points, very efficient, 9 of 14. He played very well on the offensive end. Loved how he was scoring on offensive rebounds. Had a monster dunk on a follow-up, and then had another good 2-hand rebound for a layup to start the second half for us. Really happy with his output on the offensive end yesterday. Zion and KJ, again, just who they are. 18 and 18, just solid, pretty efficient. Made plays for us. Did a really, really good job for us. And DJ, for stretching the first half, really made some nice offensive plays as well. And then Antoine really came off the bench for us. He had 11 points, had 2 monster dunks. Cutwell did a good job. And then Keith Pallett, getting him back into the offensive act was really good. He was 2 for 4 from the 3, and just felt like, in practice, he's been moving better, and he's, starting to get there. 8 weeks off with a broken foot. His conditioning needs to come back, and just feel like he's heading in the right direction.
That's one of those things I was going to bring up there, with having Keith being able to stretch out the depth there a little bit on the bench. Guy who's been a starter every game in his career, basically. So once he gets back in rhythm, it's only going to strengthen out the lineup and make the bench even deeper when you make here running the PSAC West play the first round, then even coming back around the second time.
Yeah, and for us, Keith just gives us size. He's 6'8". Obviously, he's a great offensive player. He shoots it very well. He passes the ball extremely well, my favorite part of his game. But he also rebounds the ball well for us. So getting him back, I think it'll help us with a little bit more rest for our guys. We've been playing with a short bench due to injuries the entire year, and I think getting him back will help us expand that and get some guys some rest and just make our team better overall for sure.
You talked about rebounds last night. It was a huge factor. 43 to 23 out rebounded and 15 offensive rebounds there. So a big night in the glass for a lot of guys, getting 7-8 rebounds, and then Jermaine obviously with the double-double.
Yeah, we wanted to make a concerted effort. We got our butts kicked on the glass at Slippery Rock. So, we worked on that the last 2 days of practice before the game, and it paid off. Our guys went after the basketball, and I think that's just a big thing, wanting to go get the basketball, whether it's on the defensive end or the offensive end. Can't tell you how important it is to rebound the ball.
Okay, we'll take a quick break here, and we'll be back. I got a bye week this week, but we're going to take a look over all the PSAC West standings and talk a little bit about the season thus far.
Come on out to the Convocation Center and support men's and women's basketball for the 2023-2024 season. The Vulcans are looking to put the PSAC on notice this year after both teams are picked towards the top of the preseason conference rankings. There will be 13 men's games and 16 women's games at home. Follow calvulcans.com for any update. All games will be live on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC network.
Come out. Our team's going to be very exciting. We have a lot of good players. I think we play the game the right way, very up-tempo. I think we're going to be able to score some points. I think our defense is going to be great. Our guys have great energy.
Come to our games. I think once you get here, you'll really like what you see. I think it's exciting. These players put in a ton of time, a ton of effort to put out a good product on the floor. And like I said, I think it's super exciting, and you really want to come back.
The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference celebrates the athletic and academic excellence of its student athletes. Last year, over 3,800 achieved at least a 3.25 GPA to earn recognition as a PSAC Scholar Athlete. Athletically, 75 PSAC teams qualified for the NCAA Championships. Champions on the field, champions in the classroom, making the PSAC proud.
Regardless of the season, follow all the action with CUTV Sports. From the gridiron to the hardwood, the pitch and the diamond, CUTV Sports has you covered with almost 100 live games a year. With multiple camera angles, graphics, announcers, and replays, for 37 seasons, CUTV Sports is your home for Vulcan athletics. Get out of the huddle and into the action with CUTV Sports.
Hello, welcome back to this edition of the Dan Sancomb Show. My name is Matt Keifer, the Sports Information Director here for the Vulcans. Coach, you obviously just had 3 games here last week plus, but you guys get a bye here on Saturday. You just had the break for overall semester, but overall it's probably nice for the guys to get a chance to get some little bit of rest here, because once you come back from this break, it's go time, and you got a couple big games later on this month.
Absolutely. It's important. We're utilizing this as a coaching staff really to evaluate our team here, figure out what we need to get better in and work on it. Obviously preparing for Pitt Johnstown, which will be Wednesday, but to have a week off, we did practice today, light, just working on some things that we know as a coaching staff we want to get better at, and just take the next, four practices and get better. I think that's what we want to do at this time of the year, and we had a good start to it today. I liked how we practiced today.
And during this week here was a big award coming out, the Viva Francis Top 100 watch list. KJ McClurg, deservedly so, is featured on that list, one of 3 PSAC players, all from the West, on that list. It's an award 2 years ago. Philip Alston made the advance to the top 25. But you just talk about KJ overall for the idea of being up for this award. It's Division II, it's Division III, it's NAI, it's a bunch of junior colleges, and a bunch of different letters outside of the NCAA. Anything you can toss in there. There's a ton of basketball players in small college basketball. To be one of the top 100 overall, the growth that KJ's made from last year to this year.
It's just for us a great honor. So well deserved. He's played unbelievable thus far. We'll need him to continue to play at the level he's played. But just work. I think when I think of KJ, I just think blue collar. Obviously, he's a great shooter. But he does so many other things on the court, whether it's getting to the foul line, rebounding the basketball, playing good defense. He's just a great basketball player, and he's also a great teammate. I think anytime you get any individual accolades, he's just very humble about it. Really, I'm sure it means a lot to him, but it's not the most important thing to him. He wants to win basketball games, and that's why we love having him in our program. He's just a winner, and he's just worked hard. You can tell he's expanded. I think the biggest thing with KJ from last year to this year is he's just comfortable within our system. Our system is a system, so it takes a little bit of time. But I thought last year, the second half of the season, he figured it out. He played great. And in my opinion, he should have been the freshman of the year in the league last year, but he played great the second half. And he played good the first half, but he just kept getting more comfortable, and he's just expanded on that. He gets some easy buckets in our 5-out. He makes good reads now. Our guys find him when he's open. They do a great job with that as well, the other 4 guys that are playing with him to get him, open shots. So we're excited. I had fortunate, you mentioned Phil also was top 25. Haywood Highsmith was down to the last 5 for that award when he was a senior at Wheeling, and it's great to see KJ have an opportunity to win the award. Very happy for him.
Yeah, it's one of those things that had a bunch of different players from all different spots across the country. A lot of schools you haven't heard of, a lot you have heard of, and it's a distinguished honor for sure. But also talking about winning, certainly he's helped a lot this year. Looking at the PSAC West standings at this point in the year, the Vulcans are right there at the top, right there with Clarion, with Gannon and IUP. 2 teams again. It's up fast starts in the PSAC play. Then Seton Hill, the tough physical nature of that zone, and Mercier's right there in the middle. But Mercier's are always gonna be a dogfight. And Slippery Rock almost took down Gannon last night. So it's one of those things where a lot of teams, doesn't matter really the records at this point. UPJ they're at the bottom, but you and I both have seen Coach Rocavino for a long time. That's not in their nature to be down there. So it's one of those teams. You play them on Wednesday. It's going to be a team that you got to be ready to play.
You got to be ready. Pitt Johnstown, they lose by 1 point to IUP last night. So they got a young team. Obviously, they'll get better as the year goes on because they're well coached. They present a lot of problems. They're still very, very good offensively. So we'll have to be ready to play. And looking at the conference standings, to see them at the bottom, they're a good team. Edinboro obviously is much improved this year. Clarion is much improved this year. Seton Hill made a monster jump last year, is continuing to improve. They're a very good basketball team. Obviously, we know how good Slippery Rock is. We found that out right there. And, Mercyhurst is, like you mentioned, they're a tough team to play. So from, 1 to 9, you better be ready to play if you want to continue to be at the top of the standings.
Well, certainly you have a chance this weekend to catch your breath a little bit, give the guys a little chance to rehab, get some guys who've played a lot of minutes, get them off their feet for a little bit. I'm sure it's going to be nice for them to first week of classes, figure out their schedules this week, and also knowing that, okay, we only have 1 road game this week, get to take it easy, then come back home with a game on Wednesday with UPJ.
Yeah, our guys late night last night, obviously getting back around 12:15, in a practice this afternoon. They need to rest a little bit, and we'll have the opportunity to do that here in the next few days.
Well, certainly thank you for taking a couple minutes here to talk about this past week plus for the Vulcans, a 2-1 record. You get time off on Saturday, but be back right to action, ready to go on Wednesday. Home versus Pitt Johnstown. It'll be a 7:30 start for the men, 5:30 for the women. Both games will be covered live by CUTV and on calvulcans.com. Hope to see everybody out there for the Convocation Center. Students are back, so it's their first chance to see the 23-24 version of the Vulcans at home, really, with classes in session there. So it'll be a big chance for everybody to check it out.
Yep, appreciate it. Thanks for having me.